All right, and welcome to the IU Hoops halftime report as your Indiana Hoosiers trail the Iowa Hawkeyes 46-36 at the half. You know, a game where Iowa comes out, jumps out to that nice 9-2 lead, and then Indiana really did a nice job of settling in, went on a nice little run, but as soon as Iowa switched to that zone, Indiana led 15-11 at the under 4-minute timeout. Iowa switched to that zone, and the Hoosiers only scored 3 points over the next 8-minute stretch, or however many minutes that was, 7 minutes or so. And the Hoosiers, they kind of got the offense going a little bit there toward the end of the second half. More ball movement, getting the ball in there to De'Ron Davis, and a nice cut by Romeo Langford there at the end of the half. Al Durham really had some nice individual plays, driving to the basket, making a three. But defensively right now, Indiana just doesn't have answers for Iowa. And look, the Hawkeyes are a good offensive team. They came in 10th in the country in offensive efficiency. They're currently scoring 1.278 points per possession. Obviously, Tyler Cook with 13 points has been huge, and Joe Wieskamp with 12 points has also been big, and Jordan Bohannon only has 6. But those two threes that he made were huge. Because think back, it was 36-32 Iowa. Indiana had done a nice job of coming back. The ball is really starting to move. Al had just made a three. They get it, we get it out to Devontae, top of the key, wide open three. If he makes it, it's 36-35. The crowd's going wild. And like 30 seconds later, it was 42-32. So, I mean, that's how quickly things can change against an offense like Iowa's. And to their credit, Bohannon made those 2 shots, and, that was the 10-point deficit that now we have here at the half. And, we talked on Banner Monday about, the challenges that Iowa presents are that they have 2 guys who can really score well in the post, Luka Garza and Tyler Cook, and they surround them with outstanding three-point shooters, Jordan Bohannon and Joe Wieskamp. And so, Indiana has had some good possessions where they've doubled down low, they've forced a turnover, they've had some really good rotations and closed out and gotten the rebounds, but they've had other possessions where, the double has been late, or they've had a guy like Jake Forrester in that's just going to get abused, and was. And then, in terms of guarding three-point shooters, some late closeouts and some closeouts with hands down, where, guys like Wieskamp and Bohannon have been able to make shots. And again, to their credit, they've also made some tough shots. Iowa 7 of 16 from downtown. So, they're a really good offensive team, but you still can't let a team come into Assembly Hall and score 1.28 points per possession. Because I think part of it is just some inconsistency in our attention to detail defensively and just willingness to go all out defensively. And part of that is foul trouble. I think the defense has been noticeably better when Jamon Morgan has been on the court. He only played 12 minutes out there. De'Ron's been a little slow moving defensively. He's done a nice job offensively. Hasn't scored, but does have 5 assists. So really has done a nice job, of locating scorers. But we're going to have to get better defensively. I mean, if we're going to win this game, we need to, probably score more than 1.09 points per possession, and we need to not have a big drought, and we need Romeo Langford to be more assertive than 7 points and 4 field goal attempts. And, we need Justin Smith to focus more on cutting and transition and not trying to create off the dribble. All of those things that, we've talked about a lot this year. But this is kind of a gut check moment now for Indiana's defense. A team like Iowa has come into your home court and they've really put it to you the first 20 minutes. Are we going to be a defensive team? Because if that's going to be our identity, then we shut them down in this second half. You find a way. Whether it's just grit and hustle and whatever it's going to be, we've got to shut those guys down, because that was a really, really poor defensive half from Indiana outside of a few spurts here and there where the defense looked pretty good. But that's not the kind of program that we're trying to build. We're trying to build a program that plays defense, possession in, possession out. And right now we're just not doing that, and we're not getting the kind of aggressive and smart performances from Romeo and Justin that we got in the Michigan State game. So we're going to need to see more from those 2 guys. And obviously Devontae, coming in with no points, missing all 3 shots and turning the ball over 3 times. Devontae giveth and Devontae taketh away. He was, I think, first on the team in plus-minus at Michigan State. He's last on the team right now, just not having a very good half. We know that he's able to turn things around quickly. So hopefully he got all his bad plays out of the way in the first half and is ready to go here in the second half. And obviously we'll need more Juwan Morgan on the court. When he went out, that was obviously not good for Indiana. So I think, just in terms of keys to the second half, I think Romeo, I think, is going to have to assert himself more offensively. I don't think if he only has 14 points by the end of the game, like if he just scores 7 points again, that we're going to win this game. I think he's going to have to go out and get himself 12, 13, 14 points within the flow of the offense, but being aggressive, getting himself fouled. There's no reason that Al Durham has been able to get to the line, 4 times and create more opportunities than Romeo. Al is just looking for those opportunities and being more aggressive. So I think we need to see that from Romeo. And then defensively, Indiana has got to just go out and be more solid. From a rebounding perspective, Iowa has 6 offensive rebounds, and that's the other thing for Indiana, only 3 offensive boards. Indiana was able to get a lot of offense off of those offensive rebounds against Michigan State, and really just not crashing the glass with the same fervor that they did. That's kind of the thing. We've had a few spurts where it's kind of felt like we have that same energy, but it's not all quite there. And Assembly Hall, it feels like at a couple different points has been ready to explode. Let's use that to our advantage. And so hopefully that's what the guys are ready to do in the second half, because it's a 10-point lead for Iowa, but they're not a great defensive team. So there are going to be opportunities there offensively for Indiana if they're patient, if the ball moves. We're going to come back in this game defensively. So that would be my message to the team at halftime. I'm sure it's going to be Archie Miller's message to the team at halftime, and hopefully we see him come out and play with a lot better defense. Either way, we will be here for you on the post-game show. Ryan will be here. Andy will be here. Look forward to talking with you there. Hopefully the Hoosiers make a nice comeback, and we're able to have a victorious episode. But all in all, a disappointing first half for the Hoosiers, given the excitement I think that we all had to see how they would back up that Michigan State performance. There were some spurts that were different, Sorry about the coughing. The way they came back at the start of the first half, and a few of the things that they've been able to do, but too much of that first half has felt like past games at Assembly Hall, and for whatever reason, this team has just been struggling at home. Let's use this second half as an opportunity to put that behind us, have a great defensive second half, and go get this win. All right, guys, talk to you on the post-game show. Thank you.